front has driven such a great race, and since the safety car came out, this race has had his name all over it then. The Cadillac, all new team this season. Malone has got it all right tonight. He wins the Italian Grand Prix. There we go. Right then, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to WRC tonight. A bit of a different one on the Tuesday evening, of course, but starting at 6 p.m. instead of 8 for the Tuesday feeder series. Of course, WRC going pretty viral on TikTok recently, and a lot more drivers joining us, meaning we've had to accommodate for that with new tiers. I don't know how long these are staying for, but a 3-round mini-series coming your way here on the Tuesday evening, and a full grid, which is absolutely insane for saying that it's not even a full tier. But it's so good to be back. It's been a long time since I've commentated WRC after all the internet issues, but finally we get to be back, and with a full grid. I'm assuming for the Tuesday proper division later on at 8 o'clock as well. So a really nice race on our hands, and hopefully the Twitch chat and the TikTok chat can pick up. Jay joins us, and Malone as well. And nice to see you all back again. Been a long time since I've seen you, but we've got a lot of new drivers as well who I've not seen on the grid this afternoon. A few that I do recognise. F1 Mikey Boy joins us in this one. Matt Connor, Nova Piper, Ace, potentially a few more, but Humboldt there as well. And Blake. Everybody else are brand new. I've never seen them before, so I do apologise if I butcher your name completely. But if you're sticking around, I'm sure I will get better at it over time. Blake here tonight then. Black Ski, Greatest. We've got G-Sats. Kears as G-Sats over the line in the Mercedes, the first time in the afternoon. In the full wets, by the way. And it is a 29.614. As in the chat, honestly, might sign up for the Tuesday League. I absolutely would. It is very much worth it. Hopefully my commentary can make it better for you. Of course, you won't have seen it just yet, but hopefully tonight you can stick around and see that dried cashew, a new driver in the Racing Bull. It is a 25.5 in the wet. He is much quicker than everybody else so far, and that is what you're going to see. Here in WRC, normally the times between the drivers are massively close. There's nothing really in it. But here on the wets, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit more spaced out, especially on these new regulations and new era of cars. 2 Haas cars then go to second and third as they set themselves up pretty good with a 26.3 and a 26.6. Harvey then for fourth, G-Sats 5, Black Ski lining up in 6, Humboldt 7 with a 38.7. Pretty slow at the moment, unfortunately for him. And I think Matt Connor just crossed the line. He set fourth. And more times are coming in. Bradley as well. Bradley in P12. He's invalidated on his first go around, so he'll have to go again very soon. But still 13 minutes of qualifying. A long way to go for him, and a lot of time left for him to set that lap time. CB down in 17th. He's also invalidated. That's looking like a common occurrence at the minute. Freddie's got the same. I'm sure drivers are going to get better as time goes on. Maybe not used to these wet conditions. This guy's called Hi Hello Yet. Brilliant, what a name in the Ferrari. Going to see some new names, but we'll get used to it eventually. We're also, of course, live on the TikTok as well. Live on TikTok and live on the Twitch. As in the chat, Elixir, is this Jack Crossley? It is. Hello, mate. Didn't know you were around in the WRC streams. Nice to see you. But a lot of drivers still yet to set times, and I think we've yet to see the best at the minute. A 25.5 is pretty damn good in the wet, but I'm sure it is only going to get better. Still 12 minutes to go, and a long way left in this session for the drivers to set their best times. Across the line then for some of the usual WRC drivers, it is Matt Connor for second place in the Williams. As across the line for Osman, he now sets the quickest time by over half a second nearly. 25.049 for him as he goes quickest by quite a big margin indeed there. 25.0, very nearly the first driver into the 24s. A decent time indeed for him. It's the Aston Martin up on provisional pole at the moment. Dried Cashew second place. Matt Connor third. Humboldt 4. 5 then, 5 and 6 for the two Hasses as they come in a pair at the moment. Black Ski in 7, Harvey in 8, 9 Nova Piper, and then GSATS rounds off the top 10 as it stands. Only 10 drivers then that have set times at the moment. Still waiting for the remaining 12, of course, on these new regulations. 22 drivers now. An extra 2 than we usually got from 20, of course, with the addition of Cadillac. We've got Audi as well, but they did replace Kick Sauber, so not a new team really. Of course, Cadillac being the 11th team now on the grid. 22 drivers here, still 12 to set times, now 11 as we've just had somebody cross the line. Not entirely sure who it was. Black Ski does improve, though he goes to 6th place, and the intermediate tyres are coming out for some drivers. We're going to get the tyres up on your screen then, just so we can get a grasp of who is choosing what, and it is the wet tyres that are fastest out of everybody at the moment. But if it starts to dry up, it will be the intermediates that are going to be far better. But I'm not entirely sure just yet. We're going to have to give it a bit of time. The wet's definitely looking the quickest at the minute. Black Ski out there on the track. He's going to have to try and give it a go on these inters. They're actually 3 laps old. Humboldt's in the pit lane on brand new intermediates. So let's give it a few laps, see who comes out on those inters, see if they do any damage or not. See if we can catch a lap then. Kit's the back end sliding out here in the wet. Just about catches the car in a slide as the straight mode will be activated in a moment. That is where the front wing and the rear wing will open up, and he's all over the place, unfortunately, at the moment. The back end flying out again for the Aston Martin. Contrasting quite well then to his teammate Osman, who is currently on provisional pole. He's down in P15, of course, hasn't set a time yet, but the back end looking really squirrely, and it is an invalidated lap for the Aston Martin. So not going the way that you'd want it to go at this stage in qualifying. 9.5 minutes to go, and he has got traffic and a Red Bull behind him, who isn't on a lap at the moment, so not really going to affect too much. CB across the line in the Audi. Finally gets a... Did I miss that? I don't know. It's Black Ski, to second place. And nearly a second found for the Williams, a 25.4. He now is on the front row of the grid. It's CB who set third when we weren't watching, but he's up by 0.2 of a second then on this other lap around. The intermediates now all of a sudden starting to take over the pack. CB now into the wall of champions we go then. Much harder in the wet conditions, but it will be foot flat to the floor on the exit then for the Audi from third place. Will he make any jumps here? Only needs a 0.1 of a second. It was looking like a good lap, and it is to the front row of the grid with 8 minutes to go. CB with a 25.2, about a 1/10.5 now. He needs to pole position. He can absolutely do that. Still 8 minutes left, a long time. And, of course, that time does get reduced when we have the wet conditions. Makes it a little bit harder. But I've got to say, Osman setting a 25.0 on the wets is good. But now Dried Cashew in the wets. He's done a 24.7. And the wets are still working as good as they were at the start. As Dried Cashew, 5 laps on those tyres, has managed to go quickest out of everybody in qualifying so far. By about 0.3 of a second then over Osman. A very good time indeed from the Racing Bull. Osman second place, CB third, Black Ski now in 4, Matt Connor 5, as across the line for Nova Piper. WRC's finest, the drivers that have been here pretty much from the start on the Tuesday divisions, to 24.859 for Nova Piper. He now goes to the front row of the grid, knocks down Osman off of that front row of the grid where he's been for pretty much all of qualifying so far. It's Nova now to second place. Dried Cashew, they will be holding that lead. How long can he hold that for? A 24.7 then is to beat. About a 0.1 of a second between him and Nova Piper. And it's been a great qualifying so far. Still a good amount of minutes left. Still a good amount of time. As I mentioned, though, that does get cut short slightly in the wet as the drivers will have to plan ahead now. Takes longer to get round the track in these wet conditions. So they have to plan that out. But someone's end plate flying off into the distance. Looks like Dried Cashew's there. I'm not entirely sure how that has happened, but the front wing flying off into the air as he now pulls into the pit lane, and that will be the end of his lap then. Dried Cashew now up on provisional pole with a 24.7, but now in the pit lane and preparing potentially to go for one more time around later on. Not too sure. We'll find out what he decides to do. Still a good amount of minutes for him to decide. And of course, I would say should. There's only about a tenth of a second between it, and Nova Piper makes his way round again up towards the line. I think this is a lap. It's looking pretty good. It is a lap, and it's provisional pole for the Cadillac. A 24.3 now is the best. Absolutely brilliant time. Black Ski now. It is second place for him with a 24.6, but what a time from the Cadillac, the quickest driver here in qualifying at the minute. Came out of absolutely nowhere. This is the thing, qualifying so much different in the way. He's been on those tyres for 6 laps and he has set provisional pole. That is because, of course, the track is probably drying up slightly. The dry line is starting to form. The grip is suddenly starting to become more available. And the drivers are just nearly, really finding it a bit easier to place the car and get the power down a bit earlier out of the corners. That makes up a lot of time. Still 5 minutes to go then. Yellow flags being shown in the final sector. There's also still quite a hefty amount of drivers that have not set times yet. From P17 all the way down to 22. But into the Wall of Champions then we go. We've got Nova Piper on provisional pole. The man that, of course, has been here pretty much from the start in WRC, showing all the new drivers how it is done. It is insane how nearly all of these drivers here came from a few TikTok videos. The league has grown massively since I've been gone. And racing every single night of the week as Black Ski, I think we all expected it. He's now into the 23s. It is massively quicker now than Nova Piper, and the track drying up slightly, as you can see. The dry line forming. Qualifying is up for grabs now. The track getting drier and drier, and it's going to be pretty much whoever can be last on a lap is probably going to take pole here, because they'll get the driest version of the track. Black Ski's back end flying out, and already on another lap around right after his next lap. He's up by 3 tenths as Osman now takes the top spot with a 23.1. Massively quicker once again. By about 4 tenths of a second then between them. He's once again at the top spot. The intermediates, of course, you can see, definitely by far the best tyre here at the moment. We've got Harvey, Caden, we've got GSATs as well, and Freddie still on the wet. And I'd suggest they go on to the intermediates very, very soon. We've got somebody retiring, Kiz retiring from the session. I think that was in the pit lane then. Well, unless it was into the Wall of Champions there. That might have been a crash. We'll go on board. I think that was into the barrier. Yes, it was. Into the wall there. Out of the Wall of Champions, and the front right wheel detaching completely from the car. That is the Aston Martin out. His teammate is up on provisional pole, and now they are down to one single car. Melissa's definitely a last lap shootout. Absolutely, it will be. GSAT's now retired from the session as well, and I think that was on track there as there's yellow flags being shown down the back straight. I don't know who or where. That might have been in the pit lane, actually. Oh, as now Blake goes to second place in the Alpine, a 23.2. Marginally behind Osman here at the moment. Black Ski lining up in third. Matt Connor across the line is just set 4th place. 5th then for Nova Piper, still in the pit lane as it stands. Drive Cashew in 6th. He's invalidated on his go-around at the moment. Harvey down in 7. Across the line for Humboldt now as he goes quicker and takes that top spot with a 23.1. The track drying up so much now in qualifying. And it is completely all to play for now in these closing stages. Only 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. The drivers are going to want to be on track now. It is so wet out there that it takes much, much longer to get round, especially on a slow lap. But it's the Cadillac to beat at the minute. A 23.1 at best. Osman's second place. And drivers on their laps. See who we can find, see who's on a push lap at the minute. They're quite hard to find in the wet. There's a lot going on. The guy that's called Hi, Hello, Yep, all greetings, in P13, and he's up by 1.7 seconds, but he has set a 27. Comparing that to the 23 for pole is pretty big. But yellow flags being shown then in the final sector. The TikTok chat growing nicely. A few people in the Twitch as well. What we usually see is the TikTok stays pretty quiet up until just before the race starts, and then it goes mental. And maybe that's what we're going to get today. Thanks for the shares as well, everybody. A lot of new people here. WRC, of course, went viral recently. Nearly at 1,000 followers on the TikTok, and over the past few days have gained 400 additional followers. Ace across the line, one of WRC's original drivers. He now sets a 21.5. The time's getting so much quicker as Cashew now sets second place. He now gets dropped down to third as CB in the Audi sets a 22 flat. He now goes to second place. This is a great qualifying session so far. And for saying that this is only, you know, a 3-race mini championship for the Tuesday night, this is shaping up really nicely. One thing we do have to watch out for, though, as the racing standards come the race, the 50% race, of course, coming up. I don't know if some of these drivers have been tested or not, but, you know, of course, some drivers coming in when we've not seen them before, all hell might break loose, but we'll find out how it goes then. We've got Black Ski now to second place, a 21.8 then here in qualifying, as now he goes a lot quicker in the Williams. Look at the track now, so much drier than when we started earlier on, as Liam, the first we've seen of him today in the Red Bull, now he takes provisional pole, a 21.2. Cannot believe how much quicker it is getting. We're going to be into the 19s very soon. Of course, the 20s next. Might even get into the 19s. And we've now got 20 drivers in the... Well, 20 people, sorry, in the TikTok chat. And about 14 in the Twitch as well. Building nicely. Ace now with a 20.8. And it is getting much quicker as the laps go by. The McLaren now on provisional pole as it stands. Only about 6 seconds left then, everybody. This is about to end off, and the McLaren is on provisional pole at the moment. Your final lap time's coming in then. Let's see who we can find. Bradley now sets a 2.2 second quicker lap, and I'm going to see Harvey now. He's invalidated, unfortunately. We have got Farrell in P14 in the Ferrari making their way down. In the chat, someone says it's just Q1. As far as I'm aware, mate, I think we've got a short qualifying here, unless I've not been told that it's a full qualifying. But I'm taking it as just a short qualifying because that's what WRC usually do. A lot of people in the TikTok chat tonight now as well. Nearly 30. It is building nicely, as I said it would. Farrell now in 14th and concludes qualifying there. Matt Connor then in P13. This is the driver I want to see. He's on a low fuel mode here then at the moment, making his way down, all the way down in towards the wall of champions. In the Williams, has he got anything in him here? It is low fuel mode, meaning he's running as light as a feather, the lightest you can run the car. He throws it into the final turn, then the Williams up towards the line. Still 40% battery to use from a 23.8. It is up to 5th place here as Ace takes the fastest lap with a 20.6, and I think that might round off qualifying. We've still got CB and Dried Cashew now as across the line for Dried Cashew. He's been up there all afternoon, and it is going to be P3 for him then in the Racing Bull. Up to now CB, who now beats him on time. It's 3rd place for the Audi. Dried Cashew drops down to 4, and that is it for qualifying, everybody. And now a very nice and steady 38 people in the TikTok chat. It is all of a sudden building up very nicely. Here for the Canadian Grand Prix then, short qualifying has concluded, and it is pole position by Ace by 0.2 of a second here on the intermediate tyres from Liam Wolf, 2nd place on the front row of the grid. 2nd row then, CB and Dried Cashew with Osman and Nova Piper, 5 and 6. Matt Connor, 7. It is F1 Mikey Boy, 8. Black Ski, 9. And Ombros Plende Dent. I don't know how I'm saying that name. I'm going to have to revise that one. In the Haas on 10th place, everybody. What a qualifying. And now 40 people in the TikTok. It always boosts up just before the race. Do not go anywhere, everybody, because the 50% race is coming up in a few moments' time. We've just had, of course, this short qualifying, taking pole by 0.2 of a second out in front was Ace. And now your Grand Prix up in a moment. I believe we have a very, very short break, and then we'll get straight into it. So do not go anywhere, because this is going to get better and better and better. I saw a message about joining the league as well. I think that's being sorted. Yeah, message the league. Yeah, I think it's all good. If you need any help, though, let me know. And I might be able to get you in the league as well. I believe we're going to be getting that quite a lot in the TikTok chats. People coming across us and wanting to join the league. You know, and I think that's going to be quite a common thing for the next few weeks. Usually is when you've gone viral on TikTok. How do I join the league, says Reese. Never mind, already got people in there saying it for me. Never mind, all good. But the race coming up in a moment, everybody. A short break as it stands. But here we go then on the grid, and it is the formation lap to start us off. 22 drivers join us here then for, let me remind you, not even a proper round. This is, you know, a mini series. It is 3 rounds. Round 1 Canada tonight, then 28th of July. Shanghai for round 2 in China for the 4th of August. And round 3 and the final round, Austin, Texas. Of course, the Circuit of the Americas. That is on the 11th of August. I'm being absolutely glazed in the TikTok about the commentary as well. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But the race coming up very soon. Ace on pole position at the moment. Well, not at the moment. He's on pole position, of course, taking it from Liam in the Red Bull. A really exciting race coming up. As I said, do not go anywhere. This is arguably the best, one of the best leagues on F1 25-26 pack. It is brilliant. This is a car sideways, actually backwards on the formation lap. How has that happened then? I don't actually know. One of the Racing Bulls. Jay says it's a good break, to be honest. Stuck with JP for the past forever. JP is a brilliant commentator, though. JP is very, very good. And I think WRC are quite lucky with the amount of commentators they've got. They've got a lot of decent commentators, which many leagues don't. So, you know, that does help with the broadcast. Paul in the chat, is this live or a replay? This is live here in Canada then. Ace on pole position, and the race coming up just now. 40 people in the TikTok, 17 in the Twitch. And the McLaren starting from the front. 22 drivers joining us for a 50% race here. The round 1 of the Tuesday mini-series about to get underway here in Canada. 3 rounds of racing, the first one beginning now, then 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and it is Ace on pole position in the McLaren. 22 drivers get away, and it is lights out and away we go, and a great start from the McLaren, then down in towards the first corner. He's not got any competition at all, but all the action happens from behind with the CB and Liam Wolf who are battling away. It is Dried Cashew as well. He was all the way up there in qualifying, and he's trying to get a piece of this as well, up to the podium places already as he throws that Racing Bull around the outside line, and he's up to the top 3 already on the first lap of 35. A brilliant start then from the Racing Bull, up on pole position earlier on quite a bit, qualified 4th place then, but he's up to 3rd place now, battling away with the Red Bull. He puts him slightly in the wall there. He has nowhere to go. Liam drops back down to 5th now as Osman gets up to 4. The Aston Martin with a brilliant start as well. F1 Mikey Boy, the league owner, up to 5th place as well. He's really having a great battle, fighting in the mix here with a lot of these new drivers in WRC in the Tuesday mini series. 3 rounds of racing, and the first lap of 35 here in Canada is absolutely brilliant action so far. Ace from the front then in the McLaren has started well. He's got 1.2 seconds already leading on the guys behind. CB 2nd place. He's also got a little bit of gap between Dried Cashew. Then comes the rest of the pack. Then it is Osman who's trying to make the move through the wall of champions. He stays behind, knows better, doesn't go through just yet, but a brilliant start to this Grand Prix. 34 remaining laps then, everybody. It is Kisden with a 3-second time penalty. There's a bit of action going on here, and the Racing Bull looks for the inside line. It is nearly 3 abreast out of turn 2. What a battle then here. It is Osman into 3rd. Absolutely sensational move from the Aston Martin. Puts his car in places you didn't know you could even get it, and it's Osman into 3rd. Dried Cashew now in 4th place. As F1 Mikey Boy gets slightly punted here from Dried Cashew. Some really hard racing going on. As I'm going to get the tyres on your screen, just seeing what we're going to be working with here. The soft compound tyres for F1 Mikey Boy, they should be working better than the hards and the mediums around him, but he's just being overtaken here by Liam Wolf, and he might even be putting under pressure from Matt Connor, who's now on the outside line of the Red Bull. Is he going to send that car through? Mikey might not have anywhere to go here, and they're battling well. Mikey in 7th place. He's been overtaken, unfortunately for him. He's down to 7th place. He had a brilliant start, nearly fighting for the podium places, and look where he is now in 7th. Matt Connor then gets up to 4th place as he makes a few overtakes on the start. Absolutely brilliant racing from him. Let's see where he started actually in the race. It is up 3 places from the start. P7 where he started and 3 places gained. That's a brilliant start from Matt Connor. It really, really is. Bradley down with a 3-second time penalty as Liam Wolf and Nova Piper battling. This is a mini series, everybody. And this is as good racing as we get on the Tuesday division. This is absolutely brilliant. And Nova Piper picks up a 3-second time penalty. No safety cars or VSCs or anything like that just yet. We have just had a yellow flag as the Red Bull's back end comes out and a VSC comes out as soon as I say it. The Red Bull's sideways across the corner. And the commentator's curse strikes again. The virtual safety cars deployed then on lap 3 of 35. Liam Wolf with a 3-second time penalty. And just as I mentioned no VSCs, we get one. And Humboldt now with a 10-second time penalty as well. The commentator's curse comes out. It does. And it always happens. It always happens. But 32 people in the TikTok, and let me just tell you, we had a very nice 60 people in the TikTok when the race started, and I'm sure that's going to build throughout the afternoon. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the racing on the start. We're only 3 laps in under the virtual safety car, so we're in a bit of a chilled out period at the moment. But let's go back to the front. It was Ace who got a brilliant start. Harvey gets caught out now by the VSC, and it's a drive-through penalty for him. Freddie now with a 3-second time penalty as well, and it is Ace, of course, leading this Grand Prix by nearly 3 seconds then over CB in 2nd place. Osman lines up 3rd, then Matt Connor in 4th. There's Dried Cashew behind that, and this is really where all of the action is. Nova Piper is going to do his best here to make a pass, make an overtake here on the backside of Dried Cashew. I don't know how soon this is going to come, but they're all within a few tenths of a second here, and it's absolutely up for grabs for anybody to take it this afternoon. Liam Wolf with a 3-second time penalty. A lot of penalties started to rack up now in the race for some of the drivers. We've got Humboldt, Kiz and Harvey in the pit lane. At least one of them's got to be for a drive-through penalty then. Of course, after the VSC does tend to catch a lot of drivers out, especially with a grid of 22 people. As here is the Cadillac of Nova Piper. You can see him drafting right up behind Dried Cashew, and they're going to make their way all the way down towards the Wall of Champions. The Cadillac looking really racy on the backside of the Racing Bull, and it might just be enough for an overtake here. Has he got the opportunity to do it? We're going to look down in towards the Wall of Champions. Can't bring it up on the screen. There we go. And it is some wheel banging action through there. Is the Cadillac going to get through? He's not got enough pace at the moment. In towards turn 1 we go. He now takes the inside line, and on the medium compound tyres, he should have the grip over Dried Cashew. He's not been able to do it, and Nova Piper having to settle for 6th place at the moment. Then Freddie retires from the session as round the outside line for Nova Piper. He's battling away with the Racing Bull, not letting him through though. And ahead goes Dried Cashew. Wow, they're still taking this battle through. It's still continuing on. The Racing Bull now gets punted to the side, and it is the Alpine who gets brought into play. It is the Alpine, it is Blake, who gets involved. And Blake does go through past Dried Cashew, but maybe not for long because they are wheel banging, and the Alpine gets forced off then. Massively aggressive then from the drivers here. Dried Cashew gets his elbows out, and he does lead this little battle into 6th place. How long for now then as the Alpine sends it up the inside, only on lap 5, and the action's still continuing. The Racing Bull really bringing the action now on the rear side of Blake, and it is not looking like it's going to let off anytime soon. Into the Wall of Champions again for the 6th time, well, for the 5th time here. Matt Connor with a 3-second time penalty, and a absolutely brilliant and brave overtake from the Racing Bull. It is Dried Cashew now into 6th position. He gets ahead now. Blake in 7, and the drivers make their way all the way back, all the way down to P18 now. Harvey, Freddie, FT and Caden all out of this Grand Prix, retiring on the first 5 laps. The Ferrari then of Hi Hello Yeah goes through, down up the inside line of the Aston Martin. He's going to get through. He gets punted from the backside, and round goes the Ferrari at the back of the grid. Spins the car around, struggling to get it sorted. It's such a shame then, and that's probably going to be his race mainly over now. Brad then with a 3-second time penalty. 6 laps in of 35, and it is Ace who is leading at this moment in time. He is leading by 4.5 seconds in this Grand Prix as Mikey, the league owner, picks up a 3-second penalty. which is a bit of a shame for him. I think that is his first penalty of the afternoon. Let's see what we can catch then here. And let's see what CB can do, actually, on the backside of Osman. This is for second place here. Both on the podium places at the moment. But the battle for second place is on your screen. And up towards the first corner we go. It's the Audi trying to make that overtake, not able to. Has dried Cashew through getting his elbows out for a long time this afternoon. He's unfortunately picked up a 3-second time penalty, as well as Nova Piper. A lot of drivers started to get those penalties to the point where nearly the whole grid has picked one up this afternoon. Not really what we want, but of course it's not too bad. You've got to say, this is the first time many of these drivers, I think, have raced together, and they're doing an absolutely brilliant job. I've got to say, they really are. Brad now trying to make an overtake on Humboldt. He's not able to, as the McLaren goes a little bit deep, unfortunately, here at the moment. Still 20 people in the TikTok as well. Nice to see a lot of people here. Heading down into the right-hander, sweeping to the left. Everybody's still within a few tenths of a second here, and this might be an overtake as Blake in the Alpine essentially trying to get a move up the inside line, trying to get a sniff of 6th position. The soft compound tyres should be working okay for him. Tries to get through, and unfortunately not able to do so. Continuing on though, all the way down in towards the wall of champions. The soft compound tyres for Blake. I don't know if they're going to be good anymore, or if they're going to worn off. He goes into the pit lane. He's going to get them sorted. Looked like he got forced into the pit lane there for Blake. As everybody else continues on here, because the Williams 10 gets forced up towards the line. Into turn 1 we go, and the Williams does go a little bit deep. Leads for a moment, but once again battling here with Drive Cashew. They run each other into the wall. Huge crash then here in Canada, as it is a virtual safety car. The second one we've had this evening. And unfortunately, running each other into the wall there, that is going to be some massive wing damage. And that is definitely going to the steward's room on the 8th lap of 35. In the chat, which days are you commentating? Unfortunately, in WRC at the moment, it is only Tuesday. Whether that be all of these, mini-series on the Tuesday coming up, or, just the Tuesday division usual. I'm not too sure, but I'm always here on the Tuesday. Oh, into the wall there. Dry Cashew with a penalty. It is still under a virtual safety car condition at the moment, and Liam Wolf is out of the session. He's been racing well, hasn't he? Liam Wolf, unfortunately for him, now out of the session. But thank you very much for the follows, everybody, as well, in the TikTok. We've gained quite a lot this stream. We go racing again here in WRC Tuesday mini series, and of course a 3-round season here, and for the first round of this one at the moment it is going pretty damn well here in Canada. As Liam Wolf, Harvey, Freddie, FT and Caden all out of this session this evening, which is a bit of a shame, but still left with a very nice number of 17 people. But the race far from over yet, only 9 laps in at 35. And it's looking like Ace has checked out. He's 6.7 seconds, 6.6 seconds, ahead of everybody else. Racing really well as it stands. And 6.5 seconds, not looking like it's going to come down at the moment. The worst thing that could happen for him is a full safety car at the moment, because he's running well. You did not want to say 6.7 seconds. I didn't. I probably made it sound like that as well. I was waiting for it to change to 6.8 or 6.6, and it finally did change to 6.6, but the gap was too long, and I had to say it. But, well, glad that it got pointed out. Here we go then, Osman in the Aston Martin. He's going to be catching up with CB, and the gap between them, only 0.3 of a second at the moment. In towards turn 1 we go. Not enough for him to actually make that overtake, and he'll stick behind at the moment. Nova Piper in the pit lane as well. Nova Piper going in for some new tyres. His mediums are coming off, and it'll be brand new hards now. CB with a 3-second time penalty. Penalties all over the grid now. There's only a select few that don't have one, and that is going to help them massively. Let me tell you now, that is going to help them really, hugely at the end of this race, especially if they're around people that have got them. But Ace out in front by 6.8 seconds. And there is 25 laps of racing remaining. We have lost a good few at the minute, but still 17 racing. And the action at the start was very good. Then Aston Martin goes a little bit squirrely on the exit, unfortunately. I think is being lapped, actually, here. He is being lapped, yeah, so blue flags would have been shown. And that is maybe why he was, a little bit slow, a little bit all over the place there, getting back on the power. Osman now goes into the pit lane. This is where we're going to start to see some pit stops then. We've had a few already, and they're going to keep coming in. The Aston Martin, one of the leading drivers this afternoon, comes in now for new ones, and it is the mediums. He's been on them since the start of the race. Now gets those changed to the hard, coming down the pit lane. Brand new hard compound tyres, and he's going to lose a few places here. Don't know how many. He's already on the pit exit now, so we'll return to full racing speed in a moment. And there's a Williams behind him as well, but he's looking like he's going to beat these guys heading down in towards turn 1. He easily beats them and out of the pit lane into P5. Slotting into P5 is a very nice position to come into, bearing in mind everybody in front of him hasn't made pit stops as of yet. So nice stop for Osman then as he comes out of the pit lane in a decent position. Let's keep the tyres on the screen then, and we can just have a look at what people are doing with the strategy at the moment. We've got a few on the mediums, a few on the hards as well. Of course, a few of them have just gone onto the hards with the strategy and going into the pit lane. There's a few, though, at the top that did start on those hard compound tyres. So medium runners are coming in at the moment. The hards are going to go a bit longer. Dried Cashew picks up a 3-second time penalty as adding to the tally of all the drivers. And actually, I do want to look, of how many there is. Many 3s, a few 6s. 9 seconds is the most we have, and it's Dried Cashew and Kiz. Both have 9 to their name, so the penalties are starting to rack up. Hi Hello Yeah gets 3 seconds now to his name as Nova Piper and Blake fight their way down into the Wall of Champions, and it is ahead for Nova Piper now into 6th. He is on the 2-lap younger tyres, which will give him a slight advantage over Blake, both on the of course same compound, but the tyre offset is what is going to help Nova Piper out here and keep him in front. That's what he's aiming to do, and that is what is happening as it stands. Osman ahead of them, one of the only drivers without a time penalty. It's him, Farrell, and Ace, all without time penalties. And it's going well for them. Everybody else might struggle slightly with the penalties. Greatest with a 3-second penalty now as they build and build and build. But yeah, 12 laps in at 35, everybody. And Ace 7.6 seconds ahead. He is leading this very well, isn't he? And 11 laps on the mediums and not really looking like he's losing out much to the guys behind at the moment. When will he go into the pit lane, though? We've already had all of the pit stops from the medium runners that started on them at the start of the race. He's the only one left, but he's still proving to have a lot of pace behind him. And it might not be worth it yet. It might just extend it out and see what he's going to do with that strategy. The McLaren staying out as it stands on the 12-lap-old medium tyres. In the pit lane then for Black Ski in the Williams, as he will come in for some brand new tyres, and it's going to be the hard compound for him. I think hards came off then, and hards go on. But of course we have had 2 virtual safety cars. That has messed around with the strategy slightly, and of course took it away from what they would have originally planned to do with the strategy. But Ace ahead, and he's not really seeming to struggle. Greatest with another time penalty. We've got Nova Piper picking one up as well. What I'm interested to see is if Farrell, Osman or Ace are going to get one. The only 3 out of a total of 17 running drivers left that do not have a time penalty. It's impressive, it really is. Got to have a lot of precision for that as Hi Hello Yeah retires, and it will be in the pit lane, so no safety car or VSC comes from that. Head down in towards turn 1, and there is a Haas of Umbra into the pit lane. As a Ferrari comes out in front, Dry Cashew with a penalty. A lot going on at the moment with the 12-lap-old hards come off, and it'll be brand new hards again for the Haas, who comes out of the pit lane then in 8th position this afternoon. Matt Connor now picks up a 3-second penalty. Yellow flags are being shown apparently on the screen. I don't know if that's true or not. We have got a few in the first sector. It's starting to bunch up. Not a lot of battles going on. The racing has really started to spread out as time has gone on then in this race so far. And of course, going over it then, this is the first round here in Canada. Then we go to Shanghai next for round 2, and then the final round is Austin, Texas. And that should be quite an exciting one indeed. The final round of the mini series, to see who is who's able to take it till the end and take that, championship really in the mini series. Ace now in the pit lane. Comes out on new hard compound. Will he come out with other drivers here? It might be very close. Comes out in towards turn 1, but I think it is going to be just about ahead of the Aston Martin, and he's done that very nicely indeed. Comes out, makes no issue of it, and Black Ski with a 3-second time penalty now, still adding and adding to that tally. Then 14 people in the WRC TikTok. It does tend to go up and down. We've got 15 in the Twitch as well, but I have to say a big jump in people watching in the stream since WRC have gone bigger on the TikTok. Earlier on at the race start, we did have a whopping 60 people, which is always nice. And it does just keep building and building, which is really good. But not a lot of action at the minute. This is potentially quite close. Black Ski only 7/10 of a second here behind the guys in front. The guy in front, of Farrell. Farrell, one of the only drivers without a time penalty, is CB with a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is massive, especially for a driver that was ahead for so long. He's now leading, but in the pit lane at the minute. Comes in now in his Audi. It'll be new tyres for him, but a 10-second time penalty waiting to serve. Not at all what he's going to want, is it? 10-second penalty needed to serve then, as he comes out onto the track, and he's definitely going to come into some traffic here. CB in towards turn 1. The Williams of Matt Connor is going to get in front there. I think it's Matt Connor, it's Blake, who gets ahead in his Alpine. CB's trying to fight him for it. Comes out of the pit lane on much fresher tyres, and he'll now go into 4th position then in the Audi. A very nice effort from him. Easy pass from him. We expected that as well. And that is the first one of the afternoon. Somebody has crashed, and we've got a full safety car, everybody. Not too sure how that's been brought out. A full safety car is here. Humble retires from the session now, potentially in the pit lane that was. But wow, a full safety car. 2 VSCs and a safety car then. And now Ace, who was leading and had a massive gap. Unfortunately, it's going to all come down, and now safety car here. The driver's going to be going into the pit lane for new tyres. The drivers that have just been in are going to be pretty annoyed about that one, because if they left it a few laps later, their strategy and their position especially will be looking a lot nicer than probably what it is right now. But down in towards the final turn, Ace continues on. He's just pitted for new tyres. Osman has been on these for 5 laps. He continues on. Let's see what Nova Piper does. He does decide on 6-lap-old tyres that he's going to go on to new ones. CB's just been on brand new mediums as well. A bad time for him to pit, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. Blake comes in as well. He's on 8-lap-old tyres. Matt Connor on 5-lap-old. Mikey definitely should come in. 12 laps for his. As Kiss with a drive-through penalty is speeding under the safety car. With Umbro in the Haas, he will cross the line on the 2-lap-old hards. Very respectable. He continues going. But a lot of pit stops coming in, and let's see the order that it's made now. Ace will still be your leader. He didn't go into the pit lane. He will still hold onto his race lead as it stands, and will, of course, lead them away onto the safety car when we go racing again later. Ace ahead. Osman 2. He is on 6-lap-old tyres, so on the start, I'd watch him because both the top 2 drivers on hards, but the tyre offset is 4 laps between them. So, of course, Osman will be a little bit slower there on the restart. CB in 3rd. He's on brand new mediums. Definitely one to watch for. Those tyres are going to be very much within a working window when we go racing again. It is Omra in the Haas. He sat in 3rd at the moment. Sat in 5th at the moment, but with 3-lap-old tyres on his car. Blake on the brand new mediums. He's in a good place here. Very, very good tyres to go racing again with, as well as Matt Connor. His tyres will be potentially a little bit cold on the restart, but should have a good chance, as well as Mikey Boy and Farrell, all on brand new hards this afternoon. Black Ski, tyre offset 4 laps between them because he is on 4-lap old hard compound. And then we go to the back, and a few brand new medium runners. GSAT Stern in P14, he is on the 6-lap old mediums, and we've got Greatest as well, the only driver here on the softs, which of course will not go till the end, but we'll just have to see how it's going to pan out for him, how he's going to play his strategy this afternoon. Hopefully the quicker tide from this race for the 8 PM one, says Ollie Southall. That might be the case, we'll find out. There's been a lot of action today, especially on the first few laps. The start of this race was very, very good. The amount of people we had in the TikTok was insane as well. TikTok's always a good one to stream to. We get a lot of people joining usually. Only 15 in there at the minute, but it jumps up and down. As I mentioned, 60 people watching along on the race start earlier on. And in, overall, the most we've ever had, for me, was about 150 people or something like that, 160 people watching live. It was a race in Monza on Tuesday, and that was just insane. Maybe we're going to get that again today if it picks up later on. Could happen, but we'll find out. A successful race so far, though, for WRC as a league. And I'm very glad to hear it. I'm very glad to see it. And I'm actually just as much glad to be back commentating. It's been so many weeks since I've been here in WRC. I have very much missed it. And yeah, it's been a shame that it happened, but at the same time, good that it happened with my internet, because now I've got full fibre and it is very, very good, meaning the streams shouldn't really be dropping frames or things like that. They should be, pretty decent to watch along with. But Kears with a 10-second time penalty for that'll be for speeding under the safety car. We've had a few penalties like that today. It is a shame for the drivers. You get a 10-second penalty and your heart drops. There's not really a lot you can do about it, and when you do deal with it, you find yourself very far back from the competition. It's not very fun at all, but it happens. Thousands of views after the streams as well, almost 200k views on one video. I have seen that, mate, Ollie. That is just insane. The way the leagues took off, it is brilliant. And, it is really nice to see that the league's finally getting recognition. Of course, I believe started back in September last year. It was around that time. I'm very proud to say that I commentated the very first race of it. Here, of course, all started on the Tuesday division, doesn't it? If I remember correctly. That very first season, very, very fun indeed, and won by the one and only Billy Mewis. With a lot of drivers here will not know about him, as he's not really around anymore. But the safety car going in at the end of this lap then, everybody. Finally get the chance to go racing again. The Greatest with a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Black Ski. But it's going to be Ace as your race leader. Ace as the driver to get them away. He will be setting the pace. Tuesday 8 PM is the league's baby. It is. It's the one that's been around for the longest, where it all started. And now we go racing again then. Penalties happening once more, but we go racing down in towards turn one. The safety car goes away. Ace leads into the first corner, but he has no competition from behind. Osman, though, might have a little bit of action going on here between him and CB. CB not too far back, as he is going to do his best to try and make it overtake. The Audi on the backside, slipping underneath. Not able to make that overtake just yet. Ace getting away well, though. He's got half a second from the opposition again. He's really, really finding his feet this afternoon, as Ace out in front, of course, one of the fast drivers as we know it, racing in the Tuesday division, and here he is dominating in the Tuesday mini series as well, showing all the new drivers how it's done. It is Umbra then on the backside of Blake, and it was looking like a potential move there, but it didn't end up happening then for the Haas, as the Alpine looked a little bit squirrely on the backside on the exit. Makes any more mistakes like that, and this Haas is going to be right on the rear end of him. Matt Connor's not too far back as well, right on the rear end of the Haas there. Pretty much his front wing in the gearbox of the Haas. as the drivers make their way down towards the Wall of Champions. It'll be lap 20 of 35, lap 21 about to begin. And it's F1 Mikey Boy and Dried Cashew fighting through the Wall of Champions as well. Dried Cashew will be the driver in front, but Mikey coming back then with a battery here. The deployment has used all of it down towards turn 1, runs out 0%, and now the car like a sitting duck, but he still tries that move on the inside. A little bit of speed to play with, but it wasn't enough and wasn't able to get ahead. Dried Cashew then still running in 8. It is Mikey Boy not wanting to give away this place here in the Alpine. Oh, he hits the backside, sorry. That could be slight damage for him. Check his wing now on the camera angle. Looks okay to the eye, but there might be some small pieces broken off there, which will be affecting the aerodynamics of the car. Of course, as the car gets quicker, the more it gets suctioned to the ground, basically, and the higher the speed gets. But, with aerodynamic issues like that, he will struggle to pick up the speed and turn into the corners as well. Battling in towards the right-hander here. Mikey sends an insane dive on the inside line. It's a double overtake from the Alpine as he's now into 8th position. F1 Mikey Boy with a brilliant move, but the battle's still continuing on here. We head down towards the final few corners. It's Dried Cashew running in 10 as he gets overtaken twice into the Wall of Champions, but he manages to slip back through, and 9th position is all his. Black Ski drops down to 10 and Ferrell in 11 now. The battle's still continuing. It is the Williams of Black Ski holding this then in 9. Mikey Boy gets away, but it's sideways for the Williams as he skids off the track, and he now down to P11, out of that battle here in WRC Tuesday mini-series. Dried Cashew in 10, Farrell then in 9, still without a time penalty to his name, and F1 Mikey Boy with a brilliant overtake on about 3 drivers into the final few turns. He managed to get through. 8th place is Mikey's, and what a drive so far for him. That's got to be on the TikTok. What an overtake indeed then for him. As Ace, as your leader, locking up in towards the right-hander hairpin. Lap 22 of 35 here then. Is a McLaren looking like the strongest out of everybody here at the moment. He's got about a 7/10 of a second gap to Osman, but for the first time today, somebody is keeping within distance of him, and I'm not too sure what's changed. Osman's on older tyres, and he's still managed to keep within him. If Osman was on new tyres, just imagine what he'd be able to do here. GSAT's down with a 3-second time penalty. We head up towards turn 1. CB up the inside sends that Audi through, and it will be 2nd place on the 7-lap-old mediums. Younger tyres, but they will go off quicker than the hards do. CB gets into 2nd place there nevertheless, as we've got Blake on the backside of Osman. And he's battling away, but I don't know if he can make that move just yet, because he's got competition from Nova Piper. Nova Piper sends his car through, and it is 4th place for the Cadillac as he sent his car up the inside line. Some brilliant confidence from him. Somehow managed to place his car there, and it did work out in the end. He should be very happy with that, and let's add a big sigh of relief as he gets into 4th place, and he's got Osman in front of him. The top 3 looking really strong on lap 23 of 35. Only 12 laps left then of racing here in Canada, and Matt Connor and Ombre are battling away. We're going to stick on this though here, because this is going to head down into the Wall of Champions again, where many of the battles are. Hang on a minute, let's actually go back, because this is looking quite nice. Ombre now on the side of Matt Connor, I believe it is, but it is a full safety car for the 2nd time this afternoon, as Black Ski then retires from the session into the wall at the hairpin, and we have another safety car this afternoon. 2 full safety cars and 2 virtual safety cars. Lap 24 of 35 though, and greatest with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But another safety car here then, everybody. Lap 24 of 35. And once again, waiting behind the safety car. 2 virtual safety cars as well. There's been a lot of opportunity to switch up your strategy tonight. I'm sure that's happened a lot with the drivers. Ace still is your leader though, and he's been the most dominant force of the afternoon, leading this race basically every single lap today. And when he did lead properly earlier, it was an insane gap that he had to the guys behind. He was running really well. And Osman now with a 3-second time penalty as they line up behind the safety car there. We're going to check in a minute and see who decides to go into the pit lane. To be honest, I think that we're going to go racing very soon. Hopefully not too long, as we already have had a safety car. We don't be waiting too long behind it. But I think everybody's going to come into the pit lane here. Or are they going to continue on? Ace on the 9-lap-old hards. He continues. Pretty much everybody follows. Nobody goes in. Okay, well, to be fair, a lot of drivers on brand new mediums said they already made their stops. My apologies. As they have already made their stops then, it is Ace out in front leading and will be your leader when the safety car gets restarted. Lap 25 or 35 then. There's only 10 remaining laps of this Grand Prix. And with Black Ski retiring, that gives us 14 people left in this race. Oh, hang on a minute. Ace has been disqualified from the session, apparently, in the McLaren. How has that happened here, then? I'm not too sure. Is that a glitch or has that actually happened? Ace disqualified from the Grand Prix. The dominant force of the evening is now not going to be around anymore. Don't know how that's happened. If anyone's got any information on that, let me know, because how has the race leader been disqualified? I don't even know. He's out. Nova Piper in the pit lane. He now gets on some new tyres. 8-lap-old hards then will not treat him well when he goes racing again. But the race leader, I can't believe that, disqualified from the session. The McLaren is out. There's only 13 people left now in the Grand Prix. A lot of people retiring, and to be honest, it's highly expected with a lot of drivers coming in here from TikTok. Not that they're not good, just it normally takes a little bit of time for people to race together and get to know how each other race to then actually start to become clean with each other racing. That's exactly what's happened with WRC over time. Greatest ever, the 10-second penalty. The amount of penalties I've seen him get today is insane. A lot of penalties going to him. Should be racing after this lap, hopefully. Shouldn't be too long. And this time it's Farrell who leads then as the race leader has been disqualified. Well, Ace in the chat didn't fancy the easy win anyway. I don't know what bug caused my DSQ. That's such a weird one, mate. It really is. Give you a bit of time to get ready for later, though, I guess. Well, we are about to go racing again then, ladies and gentlemen. It is Farrell then as your leader in the Ferrari. And he leads the drivers down in towards turn one. Farrell with 9 laps on his hards, but he doesn't have any time penalties. The only driver in this race without any time penalties. We just had information that Ace drove ahead of the safety car and got disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. So Ace is out because of that. No glitch. It was all due to his own fault. We go racing again, and this time it's a Ferrari that leads down in towards turn one. Nova Piper then is retired from the session in the pit lane. As we go racing again, the Ferrari gets away well though, but the top three battling well. Osman now has got a bit of a battle going on with Blake. Blake tries to go for second place, and he's done him in very easily there. Matt Connor now onto the podium places as well. The Audi slips through to fourth as CB making his way back up the order as Great is with another time penalty this afternoon. Very much so nearing disqualification, surely. Into the left-hander we go here. Then the Audi gets ahead of the Aston Martin. Osman down to 5. Umbra now into 6th place as F1 Mikey Boy is going to try and get ahead of him if he can. On the backside at the minute, looking for the inside line. Not able to, but he goes over the curve there to get a better exit. Here comes Mikey Boy into 6th. Umbra now down to 7, and the Alpine does get ahead into 6th position today. A very good overtake from him. Now ahead, all round goes the Haas. Umbra around in 9th, sideways on the circuit, gets back on the track now in 9th position. It's all gone wrong for him though, as Graces now overtakes one of the back markers. I'm not too sure, it's Brad there. As the battle's continuing down towards the wall of champions, the Audi cut in the corner there. Farrell with a 3-second penalty, the first one for him, as Osman goes through, losing a lot of places. A CB here in the Audi. Not too sure what's going on with him. Slowing down. Let's go to the race leaders though, because the battle's still continuing on from them. Blake out in front by 1.6 seconds, but the battle's really happening just behind that. It's Matt Connor in 2, Farrell in 3, Osman 4, Mikey Boy 5, all battling away here in this battle at the moment. It is Osman now making that move through past the Ferrari. Farrell, it's all gone wrong for him because he's been overtaken multiple times a lap here. Mikey Boy now trying to get through past the number 43 Ferrari. And he's done it into 4th. Farrell now, after leading the race on a safety car restart, is now down to 5th position this evening. Not exactly where he wants to be. Blake then as your leader on the 4-lap old medium tyres, leading by 2 seconds then, over the guys behind. Osman now gets into 2nd place. Matt Conner 3rd. It is F1 Mikey Boy in 4th. And it still continues all the way down into the final few turns here. Up towards the line, lap 28 of 35. Now lap 29 of 35 begins. 23 live viewers in the Twitch. That is more than we usually get. Definitely the TikToks have improved this. This is really nice. A lot of people watching along then for the WRC mini series. But as I mentioned, lap 29 of 35, and if you've been here from the start, I do appreciate it. The race has been brilliant. Unfortunately, we have lost quite a few drivers here, which is not what we really wanted to do. But of course, as I mentioned, it will take a little bit of a while for some of the drivers that are new here to get used to racing with each other. Scooters TV in the chat subscribes at tier 1 to WRC Twitch. Thank you very much, mate. Very much appreciated from WRC and everybody else that streams on the channel. Here's F1 Mikey Boy then gaining on Matt Connor up the inside line. The Alpine now onto the podium places. Mikey onto the top 3. What a drive from him. Been clean about it. He's up 5 places since lap 1. Only 5 laps to go, and he gets himself into the podium celebrations. Bradley now with a 3-second time penalty. We've had a few penalties today, I've got to say, but I'm sure they are going to get better. Scooters TV there, everybody in the chat. Thank you very much indeed. Subscribes at tier 1. Helps us out a hell of a lot then here in WRC as a league, especially now it's growing. The costs are going up, trust me, for the league and the owners. So things like that really, really do help us out. But Blake ahead by 1.4, Osman 2. Mikey Boy now, as I mentioned, into the podium celebrations. It is 4th place for Matt Connor. Actually, is he in the podium celebrations? Oh, that was nearly round there for Farrell. Mikey would be in the celebrations, yes, because he is 3rd, 6-second penalty. And behind that is Matt Connor with a 12-second penalty, which is just insane. A lot of penalties for the drivers. 35 for Graters. That is massive. That is very nearly disqualified levels. Wow, a lot of penalties then across this track today. People really struggling. But we cross the line now for lap 31. This kid says my PC exploded. Wow. I hope it didn't actually explode. That's not ideal. Not ideal at all. Blake ahead though still, and he's doing well. Not as good as a lead and a race domination than what we saw earlier from Ace, but still doing pretty good. In the chat, Scooters TV gifting a hell of a lot of subs. How many was that? I think it was 5. Scooters TV gifting 5 subs then to WRC at Tier 1. Thank you very much indeed, mate. As I mentioned, helps the league out a hell of a lot. And that is just brilliant. Thank you very much, mate. Really, really appreciated. Lots of subs then. And now a few people, of course, getting gifted some subs there. Always a nice surprise when that happens. So we really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. But only 4 laps left as we cross the line now then with Blake. As he leads, but the gap is coming down only slightly, and it's now nearly underneath a second. Osman using a bit of battery there to have a move. JP had a better reaction. How do you want me to react to that, mate? You have to let me know. Osman in second place, though, is battling on the race leader as he is potentially going to get overtaken. This is for the lead, everybody. And this is potentially going to be a brand new leader. Osman very much deserves it if he can. He's right on the rear side. Only 0.4 of a second the gap at the minute. And that is soon to come down. It has been much bigger than that. Oh, very close for a move there. Squirrely all over the backside. He just about catches the car. Holding it back, though, for second place at the minute. He's going to try and make this overtake again. Mikey's only a second behind as well and won't be long before he's on the scene. But Osman down into the wall of champions then on lap 32 of 35. Is this Aston Martin going to make the lunge down the inside? He does not. And he'll hold off then for second place at the minute. But the amount that he's gained is just insane. Osman right on the backside and now tries to make that lunge up the inside. Is he going to be able to get ahead? I think he does for a moment. Pushes the Alpine off. Now switches back underneath. A horrible corner from Blake, who loses time. He's down to second place. It's Osman now who leads this race by 0.4 of a second. And now your leader, Blake, second place. And you can see from the back of the car here, Osman leading by 0.3 of a second. He finally managed to make that move. But what's the time penalties looking like? Actually better for Osman here. And at the moment, he will win the race quite easily with these time penalties that we're looking at the moment. Only a few laps left now of this Grand Prix. As up the inside line, Mikey Boy, the league owner, showing them how it's done here in WRC Canada this evening. And he's up the inside line of his teammate in the hairpin. He's into second place as Mikey and now fighting for the win. Never did I think I'll be saying that this afternoon. Mikey started further down the grid and all of a sudden on for a Grand Prix win. He has got a 6-second penalty, meaning if he got ahead of Osman, he would have to gain 3 seconds. Not looking likely, but holding second place absolutely is. This is getting good towards the end then. This is the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, everybody. Do not go anywhere. The last 2 laps of WRC mini-series on the Tuesday is about to conclude. And Blake with a 3-second penalty. So many penalties across the afternoon. But honestly, I really don't think it's a bad thing because everybody's new, basically. And they all need to get used to racing with each other. And, race by race, lap by lap, it's just going to get better and better and better. I'm sure the next time they race together, it should be a little bit better. And this has been good already. Osman with a huge slide, which he does catch through the corner. And now Mikey is going to have a potential sniff at the lead. Thought he would, but he did run out of battery. That is unfortunately limiting to only 50% of the power that he can supply, and it'll be second place for him as it stands. So not able to make that overtake. Slightly gaining air, but once again runs out of battery. Blake with a little bit more. He's going to gain slightly now down towards the wall of champions. And here we go then, everybody. F1 Mikey Boy with another time penalty, and he will now lose out to lose out from second place to third place at the end of this race. A brilliant race, which it has been, and 34 laps of racing. On to the 35th now here for the WRC Tuesday mini-series with the first round here in Canada about to conclude. Next week we go to Shanghai, and Osman setting himself up with a brilliant chance in the World Championship, starting off in only 3 races that we get in this championship. Every point counts, and Osman already showing that he means business this afternoon. 2/10 of a second the gap between him and F1 Mikey Boy. We head round the right-hander, then switches to the left. Long run now down towards the hairpin, and the battles will still continue. But with the time penalties, even if Mikey gets in front, he's not going to be able to go for that win. It's looking like he's going to have to settle for third at best. But still for Mikey, where he started in this race and where he is now, it is massively impressive then. P8 then for Mikey Boy where he started, up to second place, and without the penalties, there's question that he could have potentially taken the win. A move for his teammate. Blake goes into second place, but to the leader, through the wall of champions we go. It is the Aston Martin of Osman, dominant throughout most of the race this afternoon, and ahead where it counts. It is Osman who wins the first race of the season here in Tuesday Mini Series. He wins here in Canada. Next up, Shanghai, and a brilliant amount of points go into these front few drivers. Osman 1, Blake 2, and Mikey Boy finishes on the podium at the end after starting in 8th position. Farrell then in 4th, Ombraz in 5, Matt Connor 6, Dried Cashew then will take P7 at the end of this race. It's Brad, Greatest, and GSAT across the line to round off this race, everybody. Mikey in the chat says that he gave the place back as he couldn't overtake. Very respectful. Then he lets his teammate back through, and Mikey finishes with a very respectable P3 on the podium. Osman in the Twitch chat very happy about his Grand Prix win. Matt Connor retires at the end. Hi-Fi, great comms. How you ain't lost your voice is beyond me. I've been doing it a long time, Matt. I'm very used to it now. As GSAT's now across the line, we'll take P10, and that is the first of 2 races done of the evening. Right then, everybody. The first race of 2 done of this afternoon. The race winner, Osman, taking the win in the Aston Martin from F1 Mikey Boy with the fastest lap. Driver of the day, well, Blake most overtakes for Farrell. Cleanest driver goes to Osman. Here is your finishing results then. Osman 1, Blake 2, Mikey Boy on the podium in 3. Your results on the screen. Hopefully you enjoyed that this evening, everybody. We will be back live in 45 minutes' time for the 8 p.m. race on the Tuesday division. Been a long time since I've commentated there. Going to be very good. Back on the Twitch and back on the TikTok. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 45 minutes' time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later on.